Hello and welcome to day 4 of Unrelatable to Unstoppable Masterclass. My name is Sara Oblak Speicher, and today we're going to talk about refining your definition of what it means to be unrelatable and how to emerge your superpowers that are meant to serve you. Write this right here. This requires massive bravery because it can get worse before it gets better. And the question for today is, are you ready to play in a new paradigm? If you're new to this masterclass, welcome to check around. Day 1, day 2, day 3 are already somewhere around this video, depending on what platform you're looking. And the reason why are we even bothering doing this is because I felt inspired to share a framework that I've been using, not just for myself for the past 25 plus years, but also for clients for past 11 plus years. And those clients are usually unconventional women leaders who are ready to rearrange their pieces, who are ready to emerge from the shadows of other people's expectations, who are ready to unleash the power of their magic so that they can transform their lives. And that in itself is just a fraction of the magic we get to create together. But the signature, I guess, of how we do this thing is that it's done in a way that really does not waste the time and energy that most of us already don't have, and done in a way that does not try to fit you in places where you no longer belong. Simple. Okay. Now let's get back to today's topic. Refining what being unrelatable truly means. I've been using this word for not that long ago, and it just happened to be one of those spur of the moment inspirations when I was writing something and I typed it up. I was like, ooh, this feels interesting. And then I wrote a whole post, and the response to that specific post was overwhelming and positive, and I got a phone call from somebody who's like, oh my gosh, I have chills. I finally feel seen, and I finally have the word I've been looking for so long. And I'm like, unrelatable, really? And they can find in me how for so long, decades actually, they were just trying to play along, to be received, to be kind of perceived as quote unquote normal, whatever normal is supposed to mean these days anyway. But yeah, they didn't have the word, but once they did, it became kind of a part of identity, and almost as this confirmation that no, I'm fine the way I am. But unrelatable itself can have a lot of different meanings to a lot of different people. But if you are one of those, I don't think I have to define it for you, because you already know that is what you've been experiencing. I don't have to translate your own life's experience. But what I do want to say is that it transcends just the level of success that we have built. In my particular example, it was the athletic career that made me unrelatable to most of my friends, peers, classmates. The commitment, the willing to make specific sacrifices, the focus and willing to take certain risks, move across the continent, did not make much sense even to my own family. So that made me unrelatable. It can also be, the type of a lifestyle that you lead or that you're called to create, that will have you have to fend off the comments of, whatever is that has been perceived as acceptable or noble, whatever circles that you run in. It can also be a definition to categorize your demeanor. Those of us who are introverted, who are ambiverts, who are extroverted, we live differently. Our energy flows differently. And that in itself will sometimes make us feel as an outcast, disabled, neurodivergent people. That's a whole different spectrum of feeling unrelatable in itself, right? So like I said, the word has so many different meanings, but the question is, what does it mean to you? And more than just the meaning, what is your attitude about it? And that's what I really want to invite you to focus on today. Because when you're an outcast, when you're considered to be different, chances are you've been hearing statements like, you're too much, or who do you think you are? Or, oh, you just gotta change whatever, otherwise you're gonna be alone. Or boys don't like that, you better do this, or look like that, or talk like that, or stop reading so many books, go out there and hang out with friends, otherwise you're gonna have no friends in your life, and things like that. So natural thing is, depending of course on our mindset and our attitude towards life in general, some would even say our zodiac signs, is that we develop certain attitudes as well as we develop wounds that we're trying to wall off and then overcompensate for all the times we were told that we were not enough, or for all the times we were told that we were too much, right? We're overcompensating. So in a way, if you look around and you really tally up all your accomplishments, my question for you today would be then, are they a result of you trying to justify your worthiness? Are they a result of you trying to prove that you belong and that you are credible, capable, worthy of being loved and accepted? Because if so, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think most of highly accomplished individuals, that's how we got started. What I would really offer to you today, with an open heart and open mind and utmost respect and gentleness, is that you heighten the awareness about how are you going to proceed. It has been my experience from working with remarkable clients from around the world, and also from my own life, is that when something is built on that lack and this need to overcompensate in order to prove, chances are we hold on to it and we try to hold it super tight. And that prevents us from really living our life the way it was meant to be lived, in this bodysuit that we were slammed into as souls, fulfilling our soul's mission, really developing and utilizing our gifts. Because chances are, just as much as we were told that we are too much and that we are not enough, it's those little quirks that made us unique and who we innately are, that we were programmed to tuck away, clip our own wings, and just fall in line with the rest of the world, right? I once had a client who came to me after releasing 7+ figure business because it became draining, and they lacked the time, and really it started to affect their life and health, because they wanted to satisfy their extremely demanding clients, and it was never enough for their clients. They would be bending backwards and sideways, throwing everything in the kitchen sink, and the clients would still not be happy, to the point when the client had to be like, okay, great, something gotta give. And it was the company that had to go. In the same time, something that came to them really easily, that they've been passionate about since they can remember, when even strangers would come over to them and confide in them and leave that conversation renewed, even though they had no idea what they actually did. It was their energy, and it was the frequency of their sound current, and it was the questions they were able to ask, it was the feedback they were able to offer just naturally, right, before any formal training. That was looked down on in their immediate family. They were told that if they don't have hard skills and follow a specific lifestyle and build a specific business, don't even bother, right? Because you're going to be an embarrassment. So when they came to me, they were burning out because they were trying so hard to still build this new thing using the knowledge and the framework from the 7-figure business. It was in a whole different industry that had them burnt out already, to deploy a new venture that would allow them to soften into receiving, yes, polishing and sharpening their edges, but softening into receiving all the goodness that was waiting for them on the other side of the fear, on the other side of these preconceived notions of what success is supposed to look like, what self-worth is supposed to look like, all the measuring of that self-worthiness. I will be the first one to attest. Numbers on the scoreboard, numbers in the bank account, numbers in the scale, number in the stopwatch, right? This is how we measure our worthiness. And if one of those doesn't meet our expectations, the whole hell breaks loose. So needless to say, when this client came to me, it was a literal, and they don't mind me saying that because we had many conversations since then. It was a literal shit show. And for a month, they worked. We worked. Even in their testimony, they said, walk through the fires, things that did not belong, burned off. And as they thought they emerged after the fire, they went again. They did emerge, sprouting green, feeling alive again. And all of a sudden, we're able to really enjoy doing what they set out to do, but from the space of enoughness, from the space of already being the version who they thought they would be by some external measurements or external validation. But being unrelatable in that sense, it actually became their advantage, which was something that we were talking about, I believe, video 2 or video 1, unrelatable advantage, right? That was theirs. But because they were told to push it aside, they needed to do a lot of work to dismantle all the walls in order to even start healing the wound. And then once the wound healed, they were able to truly thrive. And I'm seeing this not just with coaches or healers or psychics or empaths. I'm also seeing with people who are scientists, who are very analytical, that they were directed to follow one specific path, even though it was not their path to be on. I mean, yes, it led them to where they are, which means there were no mistakes made in the past. However, you sometimes wonder, yes, it all led me to where I am right now, but had I known better back then? And this is the whole purpose of today's masterclass. Where would you be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, with this awareness that all the things that you've been told to hide, to suppress, to deny, you allow them to shine through, and you devoted your time and attention, and you loved on them, and you start to nurture them, and you start to play with them so you can master all these skills and gifts? What is the trajectory that you're launching yourself to? And to go back to all the success you have built, can you shift your attitude? And how does that get to look like a year, 5 years, 10 years from now, even a week from now, when you know that you no longer have to show up in order to overcompensate because you already are enough as you are? The gold light is already there. You just got to crack the clay custard around you that you have put on in order to protect yourself. If you let that shine through, where would you be? Now, I mentioned in the introduction that it's going to get worse before it gets better. And that's the expression breakdown before the breakthrough. That's one of the reasons why so many individuals are holding back, is the fear of letting go what they have labored so hard to accumulate and to create, because they don't trust that as things fall into pieces, the pieces will rearrange themselves exactly as they're supposed to, and all the things that are meant to stay will stay. All the people that are meant to stay will stay. But the mastery here is in surrendering and trusting the trust and having faith in faith and letting go of the control, because that's the gate that's going to lead you to the other side, where you can actually emerge as superpowers and let those superpowers serve you. So that's today's masterclass. Again, committing to finishing beneath 15 minutes so that you can go back into your own life with a new awareness and something new to ponder on and be with. If you have questions, please do let me know. And as the rest of the videos, this is simply a framework that I've been utilizing in Unrelatable to Unstoppable Mastermind. Mastermind itself is reserved for 5 individuals, but this masterclass is my gift to a greater population, and I hope it serves you well. And with that said, I will see you all tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about upgrading your mindset, recalibrating your energy, and realigning the strategic and tactical pieces. So it's going to be a fun one. See you then.